So it's really more me.
Sure.
So that's why it's better, better trainer, you know what I mean? Just better, I've been more diligent, so he's been better.
Yep.
You know, I just been better, like, I've been working on, like, just working on, like, his recall. You know, and that's what I really need to work with him, is that. And just like right now, like what I just did with him here, like you were saying, like the no, like it has to be.
And
but it is tough to inflict pain.
Yeah, no, I get it. You know, the biggest thing is like you being diligent and working through situations like that. That is so important because right there, he didn't win that, all right? You got him under control, you got him focused in, and now he's chilling there while we're having a conversation right now, right? So what you'll find is because you're working through these hard repetitions now like this, next time it's gonna be 10 times easier, right? And the time after, it's gonna be 10 times easier. So you have to look at it from that framework of like, if we get a brand new dog that comes in for a board and train, and they're, let's say, whatever, super reactive on the walk or something like that, and we have one walk where we go out where it's tough. You know, we're correcting them every 4 seconds. Nobody's having a good time, this, that, whatever. You know what I mean? But we get that, we get them to do it finally in that moment. The next time we go to take them out for a walk, it's so much more enjoyable. You know what I mean? Because we worked past the hurdles. So that's so much of this is putting in the hard work now so that you're just past it later. You know what I mean? And
there's still that thing that, you know, about having other dogs around me, like my daughter's dogs, and you know, he's so goes after them because they're around me. You know what I mean? Because eventually I'm going to be half the time down there with her and her 2 dogs, and him being territorial.
Well, again, I mean, from the social, we talked about this a little bit last time, right? From the socialization standpoint of things, you got to start being a little bit more selective, probably, of the situations you're putting him in to begin with those types of things.
Well,
you know,
he's not in any. So.
Which is the first start, right? It's like, okay, cool, let's reset, right? Let's take away all of them to start, and then let's little by little add them back in, right? But like when you add them back in, it's done in a very particular manner, right? We talked about, right? No food, no toys, no affection, right? You make sure your e-collar is set up in case you need to give a correction for something. You make sure nobody's petting the dogs, interacting with them. You do it for a short period of time because that's where everybody makes a mistake. They do, like, they're hanging out with whoever, your sister, this, that, right? And you do it for 3 hours, and it's like he does great for the first 45 minutes, hour, then he gets over it and he gets cranky and he starts getting irritable with the other dog, and it's like he's not ready for that long yet, you know what I mean? So keeping it short periods of time, 30, 45 minutes, something like that, and on a super positive note. So I think you said in the text, if I'm not mistaken, you said, like, if you hear stuff outside, he's still barking and stuff or something, or what? Not as much? Okay. And have you been correcting him for it? Is that why? Yep.
You know, I don't even have to do this. You know what I mean? Like, how can you, like, hey, it's okay, you know? You know, and then it's like, okay, thanks, you know? Then it's like, hey, good job, you know? Like, I like that he told me, but it's like, I got it. You know, and I do say, I'm like, I got it. You know? But it's not to where it's so uncontrollable, where it's like, I'm trying to, like, stop him, he's like trying to look around and taking over still.
No, we need to have the respect established where, you know, if we go to intervene and tell him, you got to chill out now, that he respects that. And he doesn't try to, weasel around and get back to the trigger and stuff like that. So that's good.
Yeah, because I don't want to, I want him to let me know, you know? But just don't freaking try to go through the glass door. You know?
That's an interesting back and forth conversation, because it's one of those things where I'm a pretty firm believer that, you know, I don't want my dogs barking at anything outside of the house, right? But I know that's not going to take away their natural drive to, like, if there's a real situation or something like that, to react, you know what I mean? So I still discourage it, but they still let me know when somebody's there. Like, if you came to my house and, like, knocked on the front door, they would run to the front door and probably let out, like, a bark, you know what I mean? But they know not to take it any further than that, and that's kind of what I want out of my dogs. I just corrected them when they, like, the initial startle response of, like, whoa, somebody's there, right? That initial woof, right? I don't mind that. If it persists past that and it's the right, I correct for that.
How did you do it?
Just with no tap, right?
So you let them do the one, they go, no.
So again,
just do the one.
It's not even that they learn to do the one, it's just that it's a natural thing that when startled, right, like I let out this, like, vocalization, you know what I mean? So you're not going to kill that, you know what I mean? You're not going to turn that off in a dog, really. But the conscious So the conscious continuing to persist after that is what they can control. Now, what do I keep that at? It depends on the situation, you know what I mean?
Different days I have to keep it at different
Yep.
days.
And that's normal, right? So the general rule of thumb when it comes to corrections is we want to be able to use as little pressure as we can, but as much as we need to.
Yeah.
But with behavioral related stuff like that, where I'm trying to kind of inhibit a behavior and stop something, I err on the side of higher rather than lower, right? Because the risk of being too high is just that you stop it faster and maybe he's a little bit gun shy for a minute, you know what I mean? The risk of being too low on it is you're nagging him and you actually amplify the behavior, right? So that's why I err on the side of higher rather than lower, because I want a better chance of being able to suppress that behavior and stop it. And then obviously, you know, you kind of get mental notes of like, okay, well, when he's in this type of a state of mind, this level is usually good. When he's in this type of a state of mind, this level is usually good. And then you get kind of starting places. From there, you just kind of go up or down based on how he's responding to it.
When do I play ball with him?
You could start playing ball with him again. There's going to be some structure, though. You know what I mean?
That's what I want to know. How do
Yeah. So we obviously last time we talked, we took away the toys, right? So what you could start doing is you could start adding in a like 1 hour toy time per day, and it could be 30 minutes, it could be an hour, it could be whatever, you know, but
all together or
no, it's going to be all together, right? But it's not going to be any longer than an hour, because I don't want it to be this just like he's like self-satisfying himself with a toy over in the corner. It's going to be an interactive game, right? That's how we're going to start to establish the control over the resources again, is by him realizing you could play with these things, but you're playing with me with these things, right?
Yeah.
So you can pick a ball, right? And start off by just throwing the ball for him and enforce two things. One, he brings it back to you when you ask him to. And two, that he releases it immediately when you ask him to release it, right? So you're going to be incorporating corrections if he doesn't do so, because I know he knows what both of those things are. I'll make it right here. And you start off by telling him drop or out or whatever you use for it. And then if he doesn't do it right away, you're going to give a correction for that, right? And then take it, throw it, let him get it, make him bring it back, do the same thing, right? And play that with him for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And you could do that once a day and start with that until that looks really, really good.
What about bone?
Not yet.
Okay.
One thing at a time, right? We want to start with the interactive toys first, because that helps him realize we're a part of playing with this thing and we're not a threat, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
From there, once that looks really good, then we'll start adding in the bones and those stationary toys back in with the same deal, where we'll have a time limit to how long he could have it for, and we have a strict way of how we give it to them and how we take it from them.
So Bear's always slept on his bed.
Sure.
Next to my bed. Can I have him sleep on my bed?
I would say right now that's probably not a great idea, right? Because you're working on recalibrating all of these like associations he has with you. You know what I mean? And you start allowing too many privileges like that back in before you have total control over everything else, and things start getting problematic again. He starts developing territorial associations or seeing you more as a resource and stuff. So it's not that I'm anti-dogs in the bed by any means, right? But right now you got other things you got to work on still before we worry about adding that privilege back in.
Okay.
Those are all things that he has to earn. You know what I mean?
I'm probably going to move in 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Where are you moving to?
It's right in Old Brooklyn.
Oh, it's in Old Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Nice.
So
You said it's like a townhouse?
So in your opinion,
Uh-huh.
it's like that, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Not as new.
Yeah, it's like a condo.
old.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm going to have a problem with that.
What's your concern? Like, what if you? Yeah. What is your concern of a problem you're
going
gonna
to
have?
house and there's a lady coming out at the same time.
Sure.
Who's going to be started.
How far are the doors that close to each other?
No.
Make it right here.
No.
Then there shouldn't really be, you know what I mean? Like, you take them out on leash, obviously, and and if you even want, before you let them out, just peek your head out and see, is anybody outside?
Right.
Take them out, and then when you take them out, just have them under control. And right away when you get there, the best thing you could do with a dog like him is, as soon as you move into a new place, we're focusing for the first 2 weeks on chasing as many distractions in that environment as possible. Meaning, if there's a shared courtyard, or if there's a front space or something like that, we're every single day going out and working downstairs and working training in those areas areas, not going out and just giving them freedom in those areas. Because where dogs develop territorial associations with these types of places is they go to a new place and there's no structure and they're just free, right? Sniff around, check things out, see what you like, see what you don't like, this, that, you know what I mean? So they start to establish this, oh, this is my space, I can do whatever I want in here, right?
So I have to take them everywhere and I have them sit.
So you take him out and you just work training in those environments, right? So if every day when he goes into this courtyard space, we just work downstays and come commands and this and that, right? And there's structure and there's consequences and stuff like that, he's immediately going to go into that place and not get any sort of association of like, oh, this is mine. You know what I mean?